What do butterflies, cult leaders, world-ending machines, and Nintendo have in common?
What? That's a lot of information to process literally off the rip.
It is. Yeah, you just sat down. Today we're going to talk about Kirby. Welcome, travelers and tale seekers, to the tavern, where we gather around the digital hearth to share secrets, unravel mysteries, and dive deep into the realms of imagination. Pull up a chair, grab a tankard of your favorite brew, and get ready for a journey through the lands of anime, manga, literature, and truly all of your beloved tales. But here in the tavern, secrets aren't just whispers in the night. They're the heart of our merry gathering. They transform you from a mere spectator into a sage of stories and a master of lore. So let your worries fade, your curiosity reign, and your laughter fill the air as we embark on an adventure filled with camaraderie, discovery, and of course, all the tales you can handle. Because in the Tavern of Tales, we don't just talk about our favorite media, we truly live and breathe them. Join me and your beloved co-host for another adventure into tales and media. Welcome to the Bard's Tavern Talk.
Oh, the pink, satchel-looking thing that sucks things in and steals their souls and power.
That's the guy.
Oh, nice.
So check this out. He's actually not a separate satchel. Yeah, he's a pocket dimension with a face. And the thing about him stealing powers, they actually don't steal the powers. The theory goes, and I think it's explained, is that they live in his pocket dimension and he turns them into different matter so that he can process them as energy. So it's a pocket dimension that digests things.
Oh, that's not a terrifying concept.
Oh, no. See, everybody thought that this was going to be a real happy episode. Like, oh, no, this is horrifying. Horrifying. There are things that I know now that I don't know how to unknow. And you're going to learn them too.
Sweet.
So, to start off with, we are going to talk about the simplest creature in the entire game, and that's King Dedede. And he starts off our adventure on Popstar in Dreamland. I think I'm probably... Yeah, the planet's name is Popstar, and they live in Dreamland. And King Dedede steals all the food in Dreamland. And that pisses Kirby off. And he beats the absolute shit out of him. And then after that, he's kind of his ally. King Dedede becomes more of Kirby's bitch for a while. His punching bag. And I love the transition because he's so, like, when you play the first game, it seems like, man, this is going to be a hard boss. And then the next game, he's your bitch. I fucking love it. I played most of the Kirby games. I haven't played a lot of the new ones. I got to catch up. The new ones aren't the same. I'm an older guy. I like the older games.
The only one that I know about was not the original Kirby.
You're thinking of the one?
Dreamland.
Yeah, because it came out for Game Boy.
Yeah, and there was another one called Kirby's Epic Yarn that I didn't play, but I watched people play it.
So, after King Dedede, you have to deal with Dark Matter. Dark Matter seems to be one of, the more important bad guys. And there's 3 games he takes place in. I don't really want to mention the games too much. I want to stick more to the lore. But I do want to mention that Kirby Dream Land 2 and 3 and Crystal Shards are known as the Dark Matter Trilogy because that's when you meet the Dark Matter most. Now that's up for speculation. That's kind of like a fan designation. But regardless, that's what they're known as. Dark Matter is kind of fucking terrifying because he can possess and control whoever he wants and can turn their stomachs. Like, I'm just going to show you what he does to King Dedede because that's usually who he picks on. And that's, I don't know, that's what I like. I think it's that makes me laugh because King DDD was so hard to beat when I was a kid. Now I know somebody out there's like, oh, you just suck. Yes, I do. Why do you think that we don't play video games yet? Like, don't play with me. I know I suck.
That's funny.
But he can turn King DDD's stomach into a maw, like a big jaws, and then an eyeball. It's fucking terrifying.
Oh, that is terrifying.
And I mean, you got to think about it. I like to think of this stuff from their perspective, right? You know what I mean? Oh, look, there we go. I was looking for on the scrolls. I was looking for the character lists.
Character lists, like
yes, for Kirby, so I can show you who they are. Which I know you're consulting your own scroll over there. And by the way, if anyone is interested in a Consult the Scrolls t-shirt, I will be willing to make them to order. But you guys got to let me know. Because somebody mentioned it to me recently. By the way, I want to bring somebody's name up that we do not talk about enough at all. Mr. Kinsey, we appreciate you a lot. Mr. Kinsey sends us stuff to give out at cons. And he does it out of the kindness of his heart. And honestly, sometimes we wouldn't have stuff to give out if it wouldn't be for him. And
man, that guy's awesome.
And he's possibly the nicest person I've ever met. When you guys go to cons around where we live, you'll see him a lot. Super sweet guy. You should always go say hi to him. He loves talking to people. And usually he only comes on the first day of the con. So you got to get your Mr. Kinsey love in quick, because he'll run off on you. But you can look the images up. I can't find a good explanation that has all the images on it, so I can share it. But they're dark matter Kirby. You're gonna see it's just a big eyeball, and he can turn other things into eyeballs. And so like as we talk about this, I want to point out how dark it's going to get. Because split belly that turns into a giant eye. Now, I mean, that's ends up being nothing. Like that ends up being, you're gonna forget about how bad that was in just a second. It's pretty bad.
Jeez.
So we're immediately going into 0-2, which is another form of dark matter, but he's white with a red eyeball. And so he's the source of dark matter, or the leader. That's what he calls himself. And he almost completely destroyed Popstar before Kirby was able to fight him back.
Okay, what exactly is Popstar?
That's the name of the planet, which is in the shape of a big star, like a big yellow star. That's the planet that Kirby is from.
Oh, okay.
And the place inside of Popstar that he lives is Dreamland.
Oh, okay.
So, but 0-2 really fucks me up because he shoots bloody tears at you.
Oh.
Right? So, Kirby needs this special item called the Love Stick to beat... Okay, I know. It sounds crazy, but this is Japanese, and that totally sounds normal to them, so don't look at me like that.
At least it's not the Vibe Scepter.
Oh, no, don't. That's...
I'm just saying, they made
You just redefined vibe check to me. So.
No, that's what I'm saying. They had an entire game where Princess Peach goes and looks for a fucking vibrator. It was great.
Next on Bard's Tavern Talk. So, he almost completely succeeded, and then Kirby defeated him using the Love Stick, which was made from the gratitude of everyone that Kirby had helped along the way. Now, keep in mind, I hear this and I'm thinking everyone he helped along the way, he started his adventure out of rage from having all the food stolen. Yeah, everybody else got their food too, but it was not done to save everybody else. You know how much food this dude eats in a game? So I just think about it like that. Like he's just this mindless machine that the only subject, the only way that you can get it to do anything other than sleep under a tree is to give it a control from us. Like that's the way I see it. He's dumb. He's completely useless.
Who, Kirby?
Yeah, but he's ridiculously powerful. Like you don't do anything. He starts his adventure, you take control of him. There's no like prior Kirby action. Nothing happened before that. So think about it. He only does what you control him to do.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't have any action that he took on his own.
Oh.
When you start every game, you start with 3 things. Kirby fucking off, Kirby sleeping, or like shit going on in the background, and then you pan to Kirby doing one of those 2 things. So, and also I want to point this out that from the very beginning, Kirby has always featured butterflies. You find out later that is important, but they always feature butterflies.
Like, and when you say butterflies, you're talking about like the butterflies that we know that I can go in my backyard and find?
Exactly. Even though we're on an alien planet, and that needs to be brought up too. We're on an alien planet. So, which by the way, Earth does play a feature in the games. And now this is kind of but it's not. I mean, if you go and look at the source material, you'll see very clearly that Shiver Star, a frozen planet,
looks like Earth in an ice age.
Earth. Oh yeah. So this could be a post-apocalyptic future story. Well, a complete apocalypse for us, and ages of frost and to wherever we could be. We could be eons later. But after 02 was killed by Kirby using the Love Low stick, you discover that the dark matter are made out of negative thoughts and shit. I wrote that in my notes exactly like that. DM are made of negative thoughts and shit.
Right.
If anyone ever finds my notes, they're gonna wonder why I wasn't put into some hospital for a mental illness.
Or you'll be treated as a sage with infinite wisdom, depending on
that is very possible. Or somebody will pick it up and like, ooh, magic spells. Nah, just poor notes. All right, so dark matter aren't all evil. And dark matter seems to be like a grouping, like that's what they call a group of entities is dark matter, like a race. But there's this guy called Gooey, and he's a member of dark matter, but he quit and he decided to be Kirby's ally. And he looks like he licks shoes for a living. He looks very dill. Just, I don't know. You'll have to go look up what Gooey looks like. Usually his tongue's all over his face.
Ugh.
So, lots of notes. So then later on, Dark Star 02 pops up again, using a body that he had discarded years ago. And Kirby kills him again using whatever. I don't know if he has to use the Love Low stick or not. You'll have to look that up yourself. I'm not sure. But the point is that these dark matter are really resilient. They don't just die. You don't just blow them up and it's over with. They're pretty tough.
Scanners.
Right. Okay, so enter Meta Knight. Well, I'm sure he's entered before, but this is when I'm going to talk to him. So, Meta Knight tried to start a war so that he could get the population of Popstar to stop being so lazy.
Wow.
Right.
That's a hell of a motivation for for a ne'er-do-well.
Right. So he's not the only knight. There's different knights. There's Galactonite, who's been sealed away because they were scared of how powerful he was. And I'm sure that there's more. There's not like later on there enters a different one. And later on too, you'll hear about the mirror dimension. So then there's doubles of everybody too, and they all take different roles in this dimension. It's kind of neat.
All right.
So, in fact, later on, when Meta Knight gains control of something called the Star Dream, it automatically summons Galactonite, and then Galactonite turns around and breaks the PC that just... And I keep calling it a PC, but in the game, of course, they call it a computer, but you know me. He breaks the computer that created him instantly, just out of fuck youism. The guy's a douche, but he's supposed to be the most powerful entity in the game. Somehow more powerful than Kirby.
Okay,
and Kirby by himself is ridiculous. Like, his power is over 9,000.
Yeah.
So
from what I understand of the lore, it's basically this, like, he's a pink ball of infinite power, but he also has the mindset of a toddler.
Just about right. So here we meet Jester Marks. He somehow convinces the sun and moon to fight. I don't fucking know how. To trick Kirby in order to summon the Galactic Nova, which is a clockwork star. It grants one wish by whoever stands in front of it. So Kirby summons it, and then it's supposed to be just him and the clockwork star. And I've seen the video about 1,000 times. Marks literally bumps him out of the way, shoots Kirby off the side of the screen, and takes the wish.
Right? It's like facepalm.
Yep. Kirby whooped his ass. Mark's soul absorbs a Nova. Now, see, that's an interesting... they say that it could be a translation issue, but if it's not a translation issue, which that proves to not be a translation issue later, spoiler, his soul absorbs a Nova to restore himself.
Okay.
And it's called Mark's soul. And that's ridiculous. So that proves like some of the ability. And if you look at Mark's, he looks like he's part of Kirby's race.
Okay.
So, of course, Kirby whips ass. Then you enter the mirror dimension. And the gate to the mirror dimension is like these golden wings with a circular disc and a mirror inside. And you go into it, and of course, it's the exact opposite, or usually they call it the dark dimension. But the mirror is actually really high up in the air in Dreamland. And Meta Knight one day senses some evil, and he flies up to the mirror to attack. Maybe he's going to go to the other side and handle the problem.
Mm-hmm.
When the dark Meta Knight flies through at the same time, and it's like they both sensed each other at the same time and must have flown off at the same time because they met at the mirror. He was just a little bit faster and knocked Meta Knight out of the way. So the Meta Knight, I have to read my own notes. My handwriting is so bad I have to stop and look at it.
Break out the decoder ring.
Right. Dark Meta Knight showed up to basically fuck shit up in Dreamland and to split Kirby. Now, I'm going to say split Kirby because it's part of what happens in the story, but let me make this clear. At this time, 4-player games were a big deal. Okay? And somehow, Zelda got split into 4 pieces too. I'm just saying.
You mean Link?
Link. Ooh, I'm going to get crucified for that. Ooh. I was thinking of the cover of the game. I wasn't thinking about whether or not I was identifying Link. Please let me defend myself. No one's listening. That's it. We lost everyone. It's over.
Yeah, at least you didn't harshly criticize Ocarina of Time.
Oh no, I will not. I'm not. Ocarina of Time is the best game ever. The best game of all time. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna have to send y'all to listen. I'm gonna link something underneath this. You're just gonna have to go watch it. Yeah, it's gonna take some time out of your life, but it's worth it. I promise.
It's 45 minutes that you'll enjoy that you'll never get back.
You'll never get it back, and you'll waste it time and time again, just like we do. So,
yeah, lemons.
So he splits Kirby in 4 pieces. Of course, Kirby gets his shit together and goes, fucks up Dark Meta Knight, and then he has to go face Dark Mind, which is the exact same thing as 0-2, but it's from the mirror world. So I want to talk about the attitude of this tiny creature and what it's capable of. You know, since it does have the mind of a toddler, it does decide to get mad about things.
Mm-hmm.
They have this group called the Squeak Squad that steals his food, which was a strawberry shortcake, by the way. And he ruthlessly pursued them and dragged the player upon several hours of gameplay to hunt them down. But the Squeak Squad finds a chest that they believe will grant them ultimate power. And instead they're attacked by another member of the Dark Matter clan or race or whatever they are, called Dark Nebula. Now, he was sealed away like eons ago. Like if this was a post, human situation, this would have happened closer to our time than their time. Like, none of this existed when it was locked away. So it required a weapon called the Triple Star to defeat it. Now, all these weapons mean something because they were created by the ancients. And you'll find out when we meet this next character named Maglor. Now, I hate names that are similar to other names, and this is Mandalore, and I fucking hate it, but it's not like that. But if it was, I would have probably not done this episode based on that one foobar. So he's an alien that crashes in Dreamland, and he flies something called the Lore Star Cutter. And he has information about the ancients, and he tells everyone about their highly advanced civilization, and they don't know how long ago they existed, and they just disappeared one day. There you go. Now you know everything about the ancients thus far. That's like all they really give you.
Nailed
that,
it.
and then they gave them these weapons. But he, like, that's
Gotta
all
love
we
that
already know.
solid plot thickening right there.
Well, this is the little nugget that he drops you that actually matters. And it is that they lived on a planet called Halkandra, probably saying it wrong. And that they were split into 2 factions, which were some based in science and some based in magic. And they made all the relics that you use to fight with, like the Triple Star. I may be wrong about that, but that's what I read from the lore. So Maglor basically hints that he's coming to attack Kirby because that he knows a great warrior that fought with Kirby, which leads to the only person that got removed from this dimension, Marx, the Jester.
Okay.
But Maglor is after the Master Crown, something made by the ancients. Once he gets it, it's very clear that it's not just like every one of the ancients' weapons that people seek out. It's got like a bittersweet victory kind of thing. Like, yeah, you reached it, but now you're fucked. Like, this thing becomes an irremovable headpiece the minute he puts it on.
Okay.
So yeah, you're clearly fucked. But after you defeat him, and Maglor's body is basically broken, he uses the essence and becomes something all by itself, kind of proving that the Master Crown was controlled by someone else and had at least a different branch of sentience, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it wasn't the guy controlling the crown, because he's over there on the ground. Hey, they come around. So after this, you get a little bit of a kind of a joke to end this on, because Maglor, surviving this whole debacle, decides he's going to leave to go make amusement parks. I don't know. Yeah. This fucking story is weird, man. Look, this was the most amount of research I've had to do, and I didn't expect it to be like this, which is why we've decided to make merch about this, by the way. Speaking, you gonna make it? He lives. Okay, So, speaking of merchandise, we have a lot going on in the realm of merchandise. We have some stuff that you can buy. If you want, you can message us about it. We're going to make a store app here soon, and we are going to have some stuff that you get from Patreon. If you're interested in joining our Patreon, you will get a special branch of our Patreon that you join at a con. When you see us, you'll get a plushie at that moment. But it is a little more expensive, but I promise you guys it's 100% worth it because you get unseen benefits. Let me make that clear. You guys get stuff that's not going to be listed. That is the ability to message us on Discord. There's going to be other stuff that we release later on that I don't want to tell you guys just about yet, but they may rhyme with foofons. You know, whatever. There's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of changes we're going to be making, not just the RSS feed, but you know, a lot of upgrades. We've been at this for pretty close to a year. It's our chance to really step up and take some moves. So nice. Hopefully this gets transferred to you guys in the most pleasing of ways, but I promise things get better from here. And for all of you guys that did stick with us through here, I know most of you guys are probably family still, but I really appreciate it. So, where were we? We were at the goofy guy to go take off and make amusement parks. I want to talk about the Dreamstock, and the only reason I really want to sidetrack from the normal Dreamstock stuff is because there's a separate story that you follow down where King DDD, when he completes the tasks, opens up a separate mirror dimension where Meta Knight comes out. And I think that's important to bring up. But at the same time, we're going to talk about the normal story from here. Dark Meta Knight will pop up again, but it's just kind of weird. It's like it was told as a what-if scenario, but the end result still happened. I'm not sure. So, Kirby woke up one day, walked out of his house, and realized that he was on what they call a dream stalk, like a beanstalk.
Okay.
And he meets a character named Queen Sectonia. I hate this part of the story because her entire goal is to remain in power, and that drives her to attack Kirby. But she is actually in the midst of like obsession using the mirror. Like she's got the mirror dimension mirror, and she is obsessed with it, her beauty and her power. So, just to let you guys know, the reason I brought up Dark Meta Knight a minute ago is because he's held in prison on the other side of the mirror. So at the end of the Sectonia story, Kirby has to kill her using Transia. And the really kind of shit part of this is Transia was in love with Sectonia.
Hold up. Let's unpack that name for a second. Transia?
Yeah.
It sounds like a fucking disease.
I know. Look, Sectonia is a bug. I mean, if that, like, I don't know. It's this. The names are wild, and it's not over with. Wait till you hear the next bad guy. The next bad guy's got my favorite name. So, Transia actually, there is a lot to unpack when it comes to this character because he was in love with Sectonia. She changed because of her obsession with the mirror, but he was in love with her. And had to help Kirby kill her because it was what was right for everyone.
Well, that took a dark turn.
That did. Like, this whole thing is like that was dark. Wait till you hear about this motherfucker. So, normally when they start these stories, Kirby's doing something mundane, right? Well, he's sleeping under a tree this time, and a dark cloud kind of covers Popstar, and it's something called the Axis Arc. And it's from a company called Holtman Works Company. They mechanize planets. So yeah, big fucking change in story. So
wait, when you say mechanized, do you mean like weaponized or
no, like make them mechanical, make them machines?
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. So the head of the company right now is Susie. She's the executive that you meet. And she tells you about a mother PC, which later on you'll find out to be Stardream. We mentioned back when I was talking about Meta Knight. But you meet President Haltman, who makes Stardream, the ancient computer, or the computer using ancient tech. Basically, it's something that he, you know how like I've mentioned that ancient this, ancient that, it's kind of all tied back step by step.
Mhm.
Well, he copied something from ancient knowledge and made this mother computer that he calls Stardream, and it's supposed to grant a wish. But Mr. Haltman's full name, are you ready for this one? Is
Go for it.
Max Prophet Haltman.
I get
Yeah, it's wonderful. So, when he tested the computer the first time, his daughter, Susie, was involved she was with him in the testing, and she was killed.
Oh,
But she wasn't really killed. You find out later on she was warped away. And years later, she returns. She's the one you met when you walked in that told you about the Stardream to begin with. But when she returned, she returned to Max Prophet, an obsessed, crazy man that was, he has changed his goals from finding her to just making the most profit that he can. Like, he's completely given up on anything except obtaining money, and for almost completely forgotten her. When he sees her, the whole tone changes. It's kind of crazy. So with everything that Max had put everyone around him through, it kind of corrupted the Stardream system that he was creating. And
okay.
when they turned it on, Susie jumps out of the sidelines and grabs the controller from Max, and the computer consumes him.
Jesus.
And then it consumes the Axis arc. And when it consumes the Axis arc, the thing that landed over Popstar, it became a fucking clockwork star. Now, if you remember the clockwork star from the original story, it was gold, this one's silver. But they're giant machines that were built by the ancients that grant wishes.
Okay.
So, fuck that. Like, that shit's kind of wild. But of course, Kirby defeats the star. They got a lot of side stories where everybody gets to defeat the star. But they defeat the star. She kind of fixes her relationship with her father, and then they fuck off into space. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Kirby discovers the Jambahar. Now, he doesn't discover it, but Highness discovers it. Highness is a cult leader from Jambastia, on the ship called the Jambastian, and then from a planet with another weird Jamba-related name. But the Jambastian is a spaceship that's right above Popstar this time, and it's got the 3 mage sisters in it. And between Highness and the 3 mage sisters, they end up opening the Jambahart, which holds Void Termina, a star killer. Basically, it's a planet-crushing monster, a destroyer of worlds.
Okay.
So you find out during the battle there that he was the controller of the Master Crown. He's also the source of dark matter, of all dark matter. So this is like the bad guy that creates the bad guys that have been creating the bad guys that you've been fighting.
Okay.
So you find out later, just like every Kirby bad guy, that positive emotions are its only weakness. So through this story, would it blow your mind to also tell you that Kirby is what happens when a Void Termina is born with positive emotions?
I think you lost me somewhere.
I probably did. So a Void Termina, whenever they're created by the ancients, if they're created in positive emotions, they turn into Kirby's.
Okay.
But if they're created with negative emotions, they turn into Void Terminas.
Okay.
And Void Terminas are like the the ultimate bad guy. I mean, if you think about it, it's a big humanoid creature, changes its face to fit kind of what it's. I don't know. You use it to alter your battle pattern, but he changes his face, and it's part of the story as well. He also changes his face into Kirby's face.
Oh,
yeah. So they're clearly like related.
Okay. That's a little weird, but
right.
Okay.
So at the end, after Kirby beats the crap out of Void Termina, he seals himself in a Jamba heart, and a bunch of other madness kind of takes place. But I want to bring this up. Remember how I was talking earlier about the butterfly?
Yeah.
And how it's been with Kirby the whole time.
Yeah.
And then you have Galactonite that I told you is the most powerful being in this dimension that he's in.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the Void Termina battle, Galactonite appears because Meta Knight gains control of the computer and summons Galactonite.
Okay.
Galactonite drops to the ground, and he kind of looks around and follows this butterfly flying around. The butterfly lands on the tip of his sword and absorbs him completely. And then turns into what we know as Morpho Knight.
Okay.
Now,
I've never heard of Morpho Knight.
Morpho Knight, he like makes his appearance and then kind of fucks off.
Oh, okay.
But Morpho Knight is also related somehow to their Judgment Day, kind of like a Four Horsemen.
Oh, okay.
And then butterflies are known as beings of paradise.
Okay.
Man, look, I tell you what, that was a lot.
Yeah.
That was a lot to get through, man. There was a lot to learn. I had to go through this 2 or 3 times. I had to watch. There's this guy that I watched on YouTube, actually. Hey, let's see, the RPG Monger. He does some more breakdowns of games and stuff like that, but he's just story and game information. Like it's not the lore like we like to cover, and he doesn't stop to really kind of flesh anything out. He just gives you the bones. Not to say that it's bad, but we just do things a little differently. He tends to be a lot of research for me because he doesn't miss anything. The guy's very thorough. If you want to know facts and you want to just get to the nitty gritty, he's a good guy.
Oh, excuse me.
As the rogue dies.
Oh man, I've been trying to drink up all the health potions and the cough serums, and I have been eating the medicine of the coughlessness.
Yes, I'm doing any good, is it?
Like it's candy, and I'm still hurting. Right.
Now, what questions do you have?
Oh God. Okay. So, well, this is less of a question, more of an observation. I feel like they came up with all the names minus Kirby's. Like Kirby is something you name a pet ball.
Right.
Okay. Nailed that. But everything else sounds like a prescription drug.
Well, and I'm sure they're just bad translations or like randomly picked names from a guy that barely speaks any English from Japanese. But I like Morpho Knight makes sense because he metamorphosed into, who he is from, no character development to sudden character development following a character we didn't know was there. Like, I can get behind, some of the names. Like Meta Knight. Meta Knight's like my favorite character. I love his name. But like some of the bad guys are kind of dumb. Max Profits, I hated that as a name because it kind of took you. It's a goofy game, yeah, but like you could have named him something and like roughly translated Japanese from Dollar Hungry. I don't care, something better.
Yeah,
like it kind of ruined it for me.
Or at least put quotations around the profit, like it wasn't a middle name, more
right, like a nickname.
Yeah.
like his name would have been Max Haldman and just had put quotations around the prophet. That would have been a simple fix. I like that.
Yeah, but instead they were like, Captain Douche Money.
Yeah. Your name is Captain Tickledick. My Hunter, my friend at work, said that. Now it's ingrained in my brain. I think I'm going to put Captain Tickledick on some of our shit. He may become a character around here.
That's funny.
Captain Tickledick.
So,
Captain Tickledick. Okay, so Meta Knight being my favorite character, I loved playing Super Nintendo Kirby games. The favorite one was Superstar. And I actually still play it. It's on my Switch. I play it probably 4 times a week. It's wonderful. It's good for your health, and you should try it.
10-4.
But yeah, man, I have a lot of love for this series, and we actually got special plushies handmade for this purpose, just so I could do this episode. No matter how much planning I did, I feel like I could never do enough planning for this episode because there's just so much, and I'm sure it's not perfect. I know there's probably things I missed, but it was done in love, and this was done out of absolute fascination with the character. I just didn't know there was so much.
And the game doesn't exactly present all this information to you either. It kind of gives it to you in snippets.
Well, yeah, and HAL's got this wonderful way of giving you lore, where they give it to you in pause screens. You know, and that's really awesome because then you don't have to slow down the gameplay to tell a bunch of story, because sometimes some of us don't have a lot of time. I don't want to spend 30, 45 minutes of my time reading story when you could give it to me in different ways. And there is a lot of story told here, and a lot of this is told through small conversations, quick snippets of information. In fact, Highness himself, when we were talking about him, he gives tons of information in a short conversation.
So it's not like your average Final Fantasy fucking go on 30-minute rampage scrolling through texts to hear what everybody had to say kind of shit.
Exactly. You don't cut to 1,000 reactions from people. He gives you some information, and then the characters, while you're reading, will have a reaction. And there you go. Your information is given, your reaction is taking place, you're moving on to the next part of information. And they do this seamlessly. So, I mean, it's meant for kids. If kids can sit down and catch this lore. Now, and you got to think, to a kid, this is probably not nearly as graphic, but to an adult, I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, this what died?
Yeah. That's because you're unpacking it. That's why.
Right. Kids take it at face value, and I wish I could do that, but I can't.
If we could take it at face value, we wouldn't have a podcast talking about, things that we do. There are things that we don't take at face value.
This is true. So, I've started hooking up my retro games. And if anyone is interested in a PlayStation 1 level game, us covering the story while we do videos of the playthrough, you should let us know. I also have some PS2 games that I'm willing to do as well. We're thinking about a Twitch, but I'm also thinking about cutting together some short videos of us just playing a game a few times a week. So you guys let us know what you think about that. I think it'll be fun. What do you think?
I think it'd be a great time. I like video games. Video games are fun.
I like video games.
Yeah.
So
we could do it like Mystery Science Theater 3000. We can have the camera pointing back at us or our heads.
I like that.
We'll put it up in the bar.
I like that a lot. Well,
pause. Unpause.
I should just leave that in there.
Oh, God. I feel like teetotal shit.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Oh, I'll be all right. For the love of the podcast and the stories at the bar. See, just so you know, we will entertain you guys whether we are dying or not. and I feel like hammered dog shit.
Well, let me tell you guys what we have to come, and I'll let you take a minute to rest. Nicely done. We have a lot of new shit coming out just for the Patreon. I'm going to cover some things that are a little bit smaller stories, but there'll be more of them. And then I'm going to have a series where I tell a story as it goes. And you'll just have to listen from beginning to end to get the whole story. But I'm going to try a different way of storytelling. Instead of informational storytelling, I'm going to try to give it the ball and makeover.
You want to go full ball sack?
I'm going to go full ball sack. If you guys don't know who Ballin is, he tells true stories just like if they were stories. And I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to take some of these stories and go through it. We may or may not, depending on how everyone perceives it. We may do some true crime stuff because I really like true crime. But I would like to stick with true crime stories that happened in the really in the past, closer to the time frame that we frame this show, because I think it would be fun, and it's also something I don't hear a lot of other people doing.
Well, there's also something I wanted to talk to you about, which we might, I don't know, you might keep it in, you might not keep it in for the viewers. So I don't know if you know about the whole open or OGL thing, but I'm really kind of wanting to get away from Wizards stuff and start focusing. I really want to reach out to Paizo and see what they have to say about us covering their material.
If you guys don't know what that is the difference. That is the people that make Pathfinder, and I think we should do that. I know exactly what you're talking about, and I'm all on board and with the same decisions that you're thinking right there.
I just don't want to I don't want to be part of the drama.
Right.
I just want to sit and watch the drama unfold while I get to sit here in my own bath of salt watching it.
When things calm back down with Wizards, then we'll move back that direction. Our pride here is that we try not to get involved with the things that happen out there in the real world. We stay in our own little bubble and we do our thing, and I like it here. This is where I like to come. This has become my passion, and I'm hopefully I'll be getting better at it as time goes on.
Always progressing.
Also, if anyone heard the episode that came out, our year-end episode, Talking with the Bear, we're going to have to re-record that. My computer was not cooperating with me and was, in fact, being a douche canoe. Sorry,
it really wasn't that bad.
Oh, the conversation was wonderful. It was the quality of my microphone. And I think I figured out the reason why. I was doing all this hard work trying to figure out what the deal was, and then I checked my basic settings on our software that we used to record, and it was set on my security webcams, the webcam I used for my security camera, on that microphone, which is in the far corner of the room and nowhere near my face. So now that we've rectified that issue, now we're getting a lot better quality.
Nice.
So, but you guys, I really appreciate you sitting in with us tonight. As you can tell, we are both slightly under the weather. I am slightly, he is significantly under the weather. But we appreciate it anyway. You guys,
we love you guys.
You'll have a wonderful year. Hopefully this will replace the faux pas from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We're also going to readjust our release date. We'll keep you guys posted on the socials on that. If y'all have any suggestions, let us know, but we'll see where we land on it.
Seriously, guys, if y'all want us to cover something, if y'all want to talk about something,
if you have a bad day at work and you want to vent to us, just drop us a line, man. We have no problem with that.
We have bad days at work too. The bar doesn't always function like you would think it would.
You got to think about this. If you go to a bar and drop your stories to the bartender, that's what we're here for. So you just, tell us stuff. You got a bad game day, you got a guy that really frustrates you, man, drop us a line. Use it as like our confessions, and we won't tell anybody who you are.
So you know how I always have all those great peeing stories?
Yeah.
I have a great peeing story for you.
Tell me your great peeing story.
So, I'm at another bar last night, and which I don't frequent taverns, and I'm in the bathroom. Well, there's this gigantic trough to pee in, right? And it's a really small and narrow room. So you walk in the door and it's just trough and then shitter next to you, right? Open stall shitter, right?
Right.
Door doesn't lock. It's really rundown place. So I start doing my business and I'm standing there and I'm awkwardly peeing and da-da-da. Well, another guy comes in. Well, as per protocol, you don't talk to other people while you're peeing. That's just rude.
Part of the rules.
All right. Well, I break away and he's still going. I go to wash my hands and realize that there's no, like, the soap dispenser has no soap. So it's like, oh, that's awesome. I guess the fucking soap is decorative. I was trying to make a joke to ease the tension because you could cut through it with a knife. And no reaction out of that guy. I was kind of mad. I put a lot of effort into that joke.
I think the best peeing story, I don't know, have we told the story about the three guys coming down the road knocking over trash cans?
No, we haven't told that story, and we haven't told the story about the gas station in Ball, Louisiana.
Oh Lord, I don't know if I want to tell that story.
Oh my
God.
God.
That guy might find you and take advantage of you.
Oh my God, it was horrible. It was like watching a plumber, but without actually having any certifications. It was terrible. Like,
the dong on this man just frightened our rogue.
Like, he could have used it as a kickstand.
It's a tripod.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if he got tired, he could just like.
The man can never wear shorts. He's got to wrap it around his waist like Goku.
Bruh.
Do you advertise stuff like that? Do you tell people, like, hey, I can jack your car up with my Johnson?
Bruh.
Or do you just hope nobody notices?
Like,
that can't bode well. I mean, you gotta have like a pacemaker by the time you're 25 to wield something like that.
And God forbid you wear sweatpants.
Oh God, get it all bunched up on. No. Imagine rolling over on it. Oh man, it's like 6 a.m. The alarm's about to go off. It goes to roll over. Dang. Can't reach the clock now.
That's good stuff.
I think about that guy all the time.
Yeah. Sadly, that guy's gonna live rent free until I'm old and senile.
You got to see the dong in its glory. I just got to hear the stories about it. You came running out of the gas station. I thought you robbed the place. That was a good day. I laughed about that for miles. We were on our way up north, and all I could do was laugh.
Yeah. Then there was that time I peed next to J. Michael Tatum. That was cool.
That was cool.
I pee a lot. I have good peeing stories.
Well, I appreciate you guys for sitting in our stories tonight, especially the pee story. I think that one will go far. You guys have a great night, and thank you for coming to the bar.
Thank you guys. We love y'all.
Love you.